What's up, you guys? Your girl Roz, and I'm back with another simple video. So today we're going to be basically reinstalling my wig and swooping my edges, as you can see. You guys around about. Sorry for the background. My son's watching TV and it's keeping them sane. But I am going to show you guys how I wash it. I'm not going to show you guys how I flat iron it because it took too much time, and I'm pretty sure everyone knows how to flat iron hair. And I'm going to show you guys how I sew it down and I lay my edges with no problem. And I did all this within 20 minutes tops. So if you like to see this video, don't forget to stay tuned. I said don't forget to stay tuned. What in the world? Stay tuned. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. As you guys can see, I am revamping this wig today. I only sewed down my edges this time, so when you see this back part flipped up, don't be alarmed. I only sewed down the front, and I felt like it was time to take it down because my edges were looking crazy. They always look crazy only because I've had psoriasis, so me trying to maintain it and prevent myself from scratching out the dandruff is very hard. So I'm like, okay, I already feel bad that my edges look crazy like this, and this wig is starting to come up. And then every time I try to put my hair in a ponytail after almost a week and a half, the back of the wig decides it wants to rise sometimes, and I don't like that. So this time around, I'm going to sew the whole entire wig down to prevent that from happening again, because it is pretty embarrassing if you was to like go in and scratch your head, and every time you have to keep adjusting the back of your wig on your head. I don't see how some people can do that for long periods of times, but I learned my lesson the first time. So I had just woke up this morning. If I didn't already mention it, I don't know, because this is like my third time retaking this voiceover, but I just had woke up, so it made me record the beginning of this so much better because the wig looks horrible. So you guys looking like, oh my gosh, that wig looks so horrible on her head right now. Like, yes, please revamp that wig. I kept my same braids in my head. There was no need for me to redo them. You're not going to see them anyway, so whatever. And I was looking at the cap for so long, and I'm like, okay, this wig is very dirty, especially on the inside, because like I said, I have very bad dandruff, and I put so many, well, not a lot of chemicals, but I've used a lot of conditioner in my hair after I had washed it and installed it, and I'm like, yeah, it doesn't stink whatsoever, thank goodness. And I haven't flat ironed the last time. I just threw it on, so it made it so much better. But as you can see right now, the wig is dirty. Like, you can see the particles from the dandruff and all the buildup all around in the back. I mean, if you really can't see it, just know it's there. So I decided that I wash my wigs. I've never used shampoo on my wigs ever. I feel like it really just makes the wig so much harsh, and I just use conditioner. I don't even leave it in unless I really have time, and I'm really just, you know, one of those people that like, okay, I'm gonna just wait. Well, sometimes I can be very impatient, which I am today because I didn't wait to let it sit. And as you can see, I put a lot of conditioner in this wig on top, the ends, and inside the cap. You guys, I try to talk through these because a lot of background music I have is the same. And I want to show you guys, like, at first when I started washing it, it was extremely dirty. But you know that it's completely fine when the water starts to run clear, which I thought was never going to happen. Like, I had to cut this piece up in so many pieces. I think this is like 6 minutes in total, me washing it out. I don't know what I've been doing with this wig on my head, but it wasn't much because all I do is lay around the house anyways. So after I had took the wig out the water, oh, I didn't mention that I use like close to hot water but more warm when I wash my wigs, and I let it air dry. I was going to go ahead and blow dry it, but I got lazy and I didn't, so I just towel dried it just for the most part, and I combed it out a little bit, and I actually came back the next day to do it. I know, right? And I left the mannequin here and everything, but as you can see right now, that middle part, it's not even so much in the middle. I kind of seen that it's kind of slanted a little bit, and I don't know what I was thinking when I was wearing it like that the very first time around, before I made the part as thick as it is. So I went ahead with my eye pencil, and I was covering up the big gap that's between this wig, and it actually works. You probably looking at it like, no, I don't think that's gonna work, but as you can see, it does. It actually does work. And I will go in and try to flip it back and forth to make sure you really can't see it as I'm wearing it. And I did not have a problem, you guys. Like, no one ever noticed it, and I don't really wear a flip back anyways. Like, you're not going to see it no way, and as you can see right now, you really don't even see it. Isn't that crazy? You don't even really see it unless I'm really going through it and like showing you. And it's crazy because the part is like right at the beginning. You couldn't even see when I was holding it like that. So here it is the next day, and this is when it was completely dry. Like, I left the towel over the mannequin head and everything right here in the bathroom next to the toilet, and they was like, get this thing out the bathroom. I'm like, no, I gotta wait for my wig to dry. And look how beautiful it looks. But this is before I flat iron it. That's why I recommend people not to really flat iron it that much, because it loses its volume and its bounce, and it's gonna be stale. So I went ahead and just threw this wig on. As you can see with my edges, I went ahead and greased my edges down, and I pushed it back into the braid a little bit so you wouldn't see any type of dandruff whatsoever. So when I sew this wig on, I'm showing you guys this way only because I know a lot of people don't really know how to sew a wig on. But I sew it onto the braid. Like, you see where I pointed towards the end of the cap, where the cap ended. I sewed it on the cap onto the braid to make sure it connects. Like, you have to make sure you're touching that braid and you're pushing the needle through the braid, but still as well through the cap. So you really wouldn't have to worry about whether or not the braid is on the cap. Make sure you're touching that braid as you're doing it. As you see, my finger is touching the braid the whole entire time. Even though I can't see the braid, I can feel it, and I'm sticking the needle through the end of the little tiny piece of cap that you see, and I'm pushing it through the braid as well, and I'm holding it so I can do it. And I tell you guys this, your hand is your guide. As you can see, I'm right here, I'm sewing it up to where the lace starts, and then I will go in and part the lace, and I will start sewing it where the line, where basically where you see the scalp, I will be sewing it onto that. But I'm sewing it to where I felt the braid. When I parted it, I parted to where I can feel the braid as well. So as I'm sticking it through the part, as you can see, I'm sticking it through the part, I will touch the braid as well to make sure it slides underneath the braid as well, and it'll be secure. And you won't have no problem with it coming up. The only problem I do have is that I made the braid a little bigger. So once I did finish that, I did it all the way to the end. I didn't show that part, but I did all the way to the end. And as you can see, the front is lifting up. And I will take it and do the same exact thing I did in the beginning. And I will fill the braid. In this case, no need because I can see it. And I will sew it the best way I can to where I don't have it coming up, which worked perfectly. The way that I normally would sew it if I was just by myself, I will show you after I begin to go onto my left side of my head. And this was way easier for me for the simple fact that I didn't have to worry about this part. Like, you see what I'm doing now? The first time around when I did my wig, I didn't have to do any of this. So I'm like, okay, it's taking a little longer because the first time it took me like 8 minutes tops just to even do the front side. So I'm like, okay, this is a little frustrating, but I want to show you guys another way that you guys can do it with no problem. So you see, for my left side, I'm taking the needle and I'm going underneath the cap, basically in towards the middle of the wig a little bit, but I'm still touching that braid to make sure to make sure it wraps around that braid. And then I will push it back through the same hole that it came through and pull it back out to the front of my head. And the better way to explain it is like, if you're sewing a pillow, you push it in and have it come out the other way, and then you push it back through the same exact loop and pull it back out the same way, and you keep going until the pillow is seamed and have a seamless look. So that's basically what I was going for. And as you can see, my hands, I'm touching it and pushing it. You see me pull the needle back out through the front towards my edges, and I would keep going back and forth, basically like a big loop back and forth. And this way I don't have to worry about whether or not I get the hair tangled in as I'm doing it, because as you can see, I'm sliding it back and forth with no problem. I don't know if that was a good way to explain it, but yeah. And I already had done sewed the back of my head, so it was no need for me to even go back and do that because my kitchen is a wreck right now. But I would just recommend that do it the best way you can. you don't have normally, you don't have to do it the way I did it for my left side, but the right side is recommended for those who really don't know how to sew it down. And I know it's a lot of people out here that know how to sew hair down, but not on themselves, which I think is just like, which I think is bizarre that people don't know how to sew their own hair down, but at the same time, you know, everyone is different. So as you can see, it is time to lay these edges down. You guys, I haven't posted on here in like 2 weeks. I've really just been trying to focus on graduating. I graduate in like 8 weeks, so it's more like me focusing on that and not really making time to do a video. I did this video 2 days ago. I recorded this 2 days ago, and I'm just not editing and doing a voiceover right now. So yeah. Oh, when I do my edges, I don't know why, I don't like that effect where they take the edges and bring it down to your sideburns and stuff like that. Maybe because I like to wash my face, and I don't want to wash my face and I have these pretty nice edges. Like, say for instance, someone did your hair and you don't know how to do your edges like how they did it, and they have this long piece of soup coming down your sideburn, and you're the type of person that wash your face at least 2 to 3 times a day. So it's like, okay, if I'm washing my face and I got these pretty gorgeous edges I can avoid getting wet, but then it's like your sideburn is part of your face as well. So it's like, okay, you're gonna have these pretty edges and these jacked up sideburns. So I push all of my hair back in one big swoop just to avoid that. And since I know how to basically fix it myself, and I have natural edges right now, like when I do a perm in my head, well, a relaxer, my edges are the first things to go. Literally, like my edges last about 3 weeks tops. Not even that, probably 2.5 weeks before they start acting funny. So right now they're not acting as funny as I thought they would, but they be acting funny, I'll tell y'all. So I went ahead and laid me a scarf over my head as well after I finished brushing through it. And before I did that, actually I just laid it over my head. I didn't think about it until afterwards. I was like, what was the point of me laying over my edges when I didn't even add the got to be glued spray, holding spray, and it holds everything down. You guys, I did someone's quick weave with 3 little ingredients that were so good. When it came time for her to take the quick weave down, it came off like a wig. No joke. I kid you not. I wish it was her in the background to be like, yep, she's so right. But yeah, it's amazing. I think I'm gonna do a video on that as well. So I went ahead and took the little scarf off, the purposeless use of the scarf. And that's basically how it looks. Like, the before was hideous, and after it's like, okay, that's way better than what it was looking like. So yeah, I think I did pretty good. And I made this wig, this $7 hair. Okay, so that was it, you guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and stay tuned for the next video. Thank you.